Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Diamond Cooper Show, coming to you live over the digital airways of YouTube from my hometown of Washington, D.C. on this glorious Wednesday. I hope y'all doing good out there. I'm feeling better, swelling in the elbow down, energy up. Hope it's the same for y'all. Thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed and tuned in so far. Everybody, much love and respect, much gratitude. If you're just joining me, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and rock with your brother. And I'm gonna keep the content coming. The first segment today has a different touch to it, for real. And normally is when I hear some wild stuff. But this for real, it wasn't really a wild week. Wild statements and things for me to go off of for the show. But this for real is a good one. Did y'all see Joel Embiid? 70. See, for those who don't watch basketball and don't be into it or didn't play it, like you don't understand how hard it is to score 20 points or 30 points. This man scored 70. They needed it too, because they didn't win by much. 24 field goals, 21 free throws, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. He won the MVP last year. Every time he played against the Joker, who won the previous two MVPs, he give him that work. They're about to play again coming up this week. Joel Embiid doing something crazy, man. He already lead the league in scoring, averaging 34. It's probably going to go up now because he didn't even play 70 games, so it might go up to 35. Good gosh. Excuse me. The 14th player in NBA history to score 70 plus, and we know Wilt got a few of them. Philadelphia 29-13, third in the East, playing real good ball since they got rid of James Harden. Tyrese Maxey showing out. Tobias Harris starting to be a little bit more aggressive as the third wheel, which Joel Embiid gonna need in that East because Boston is for real. But kudos to Joel Embiid, man. I'm like, for real, 70? And what's crazy is on the same night, Cat, we call him Cat, but it's called Anthony Towns from the Minnesota Timberwolves, dropped 62. 10 of 15 from three. The 10 3-pointers is a Minnesota franchise record. And that made it the fourth time in NBA history that two players had 60 points on the same day. And when you're in sports, you can appreciate when milestones are set or when someone does something that hasn't been done a lot. You know, you can appreciate that because you love the sport and you know that it's rare. It's rare that two people, I mean, the NBA been going on for a long time, since the 1970s. And now, for the fourth time, two players dropped 60 or more on the same night. Kudos to them. Numbers are crazy. 70 points. Good God Almighty, man. Ooh. Speaking of the East of Milwaukee, Milwaukee fired the head coach, Adrian Griffin, his first year. I didn't really agree with the fact that he fired Mike Budenholzer because Giannis was hurt after the first game last year in the series against Miami. Milwaukee had the best record, the number one seed throughout the whole playoffs, no matter East or West. It was going through Milwaukee. And Giannis got hurt. And when he came back, he was compromised. And Jimmy Buckets and them just went off and they knocked him out. And they fired Budenholzer after he brought him a chip in 21. So I didn't really like that. But now it's like they 30-13. And this is rare that in the NBA you have a team that's 30-13. The last time was David Black. I don't know if y'all remember, he was coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Kevin Love, you know, Iman Shumpert, et cetera, et cetera. And he got fired when the Cavaliers were 30-11 and Tyronn Lue took over. But remember the year before, they went to the finals and lost to Golden State when Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. So, I mean, all he had was LeBron, and LeBron was averaging a triple-double. And that was all he had. And the next year at 30-11, he got fired. Now we know that Ty Lue and them went on to win the championship when he came back from 3-1 that year, but didn't really think it was deserving. But it's not like it's far-fetched or it hasn't been done. Second in the East, but this the thing. Budenholzer was known for defense. Milwaukee's defense was in the top 10 almost every year while he was there. They slipped a little bit a couple of years ago, and then last year they got back up to fourth. In January alone, Milwaukee giving up 125 points a game. They 1-4 against Indiana, who's averaging over 120 against them. And another thing that people don't realize if they haven't been watching is that Giannis and the new coach, Adrian Griffin, who was a brother, unfortunately, when you get into it and it's public, it's on the court, and you and the star player going at it, it's not going to look good for you with the people upstairs, if you know what I mean. Because if the star isn't happy and they want to keep the star, and they brought Dame Lillard over, and then Giannis restructured so that their contracts are basically ended at the same time, so they definitely trying to get a ring together. Arguing with the star obviously will get your ass fired. And unfortunately, with a 30-13 record, Adrian Griffin is gone. And today, Doc Rivers agreed in principle to terms to become the next head coach. So now Doc, who's still holding on to that one ring from Boston, when he was with Boston in 08 when they beat my Lakers, when Paul Pierce did the fake hurt his leg and got carried off and then rolled off in the wheelchair, then he come back and just started going off hitting threes, and we was up 20 and lost after we blew a 20-point lead at home. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I can guarantee you that Doc Rivers going to be on their ass about that defense, because Doc Rivers is an old school coach. Is the old school mentality going to work with all them? Not sure, but I can be pretty certain that they got enough respect for Doc Rivers and his resume and his pedigree that they're going to respect him enough to at least listen. And if they listen to Doc on the deep, they don't have no problems offensively. They got firepower. That's not in question. And they got the most dominant nigga on the court in Giannis. Doc instill that defense in them, then we can start talking about Milwaukee as a true championship contender. We know what they have talent-wise, but the willingness to D up in this new era where everybody want to run and gun and they want to shoot threes all damn day and all that, you still got to be willing to D up. And Milwaukee has been good at that. Trading Drew Holiday away has definitely proven that it's hurting them on the defensive end. And Doc Rivers is a good person to scheme up some things to get them to play better defense. Hopefully they do. I don't know for sure if Doc is going to coach tonight. They had named Joe Prunty interim head coach. I guess he'll be coaching tonight because they host the Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell tonight, which would be a good game because Cleveland is a good team, good young team coming up. Moving on, just a little quick trade news. The Miami Heat traded Kyle Lowry, not Mike Lowry from Bad Boys, Kyle Lowry. They used to be with Toronto, won a chip with Toronto and Kawhi Leonard. They traded him to Charlotte for Terry Rozier. If you don't know Terry Rozier is, he started off playing with Jason Tatum and them in Boston. Was a pretty good backup point guard. Could score a little bit. He's been in Charlotte for the past few years doing his thing. Had a couple of injuries, but most of the time he's been healthy. He's been averaging 23 points a game this year for him. So they're looking to get some more offense out of their guys. Tyler Hero. Now you got Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, because they lost Gabe Vincent to the Lakers. So it's a good pickup for them because they got somebody else that can score, take some of that pressure off of Jimmy Buckets. Charlotte is also looking to go ahead and move Lowry. He a veteran. And one thing about the NBA, they just look out for their players. If you a vet and you with a team that ain't going nowhere, they know that you ain't trying to go to that team and play for them. So they're not going to have you dress up, mess up the rotation or any of that. They're going to allow you to chill, work out, do your workouts and everything, stay in shape. They find a trade partner. So Kyle Lowry, will probably wind up with a team that at least is a contender because he wants to win. So I don't think he's just going to go to no scrub team, to be honest with you. I gotta. Now, LeBron didn't play last night. And my Lakers did try to put up a valiant effort, but we lost to the Clippers again. We did win the first two this year. So we 2-1 this year. We playing 4 times a season. But since they changed the name to Crypto.com Arena, I believe in 2012, we played them 46 times. The Lakers have played the Clippers 46 times, counting last night. You know how many of my Lakers won? 8. But guess what? We got 17 banners and the in-season tournament, and the Clippers don't got none. Yeah, I'm going to be petty. I'm going to go back to that. Y'all been whooping our ass for a little over a decade. We're 2-1 against you this year. And all I got is right now. But y'all been busting us. The Clippers been busting us. But what we have done that you haven't done in this 8-38 stretch against the Clippers is we put up another banner. Y'all about to move into an arena, and y'all don't have any banners up there. And then people might not know this if you don't pay attention, but the Clippers play in the same arena as the Lakers. But when it's a Clippers home game, they cover up the banners. Because ain't no Clippers banners up there. Excuse me. So they cover up the banners with like the black sheets, so that when you're in there for a Clippers game, you don't have to look up and see all the Lakers wins and you like the Clippers and they ain't won shit. So yeah, y'all won 38 out the last 46 Clippers. But my Lakers got a banner in the past 4 years, and y'all never got one. So the Clippers fans who are getting excited, hold that thought and hope that your stars stay healthy. Because if Paul George and Kawhi Leonard stay healthy, they definitely can win. I'm not going to take nothing away from them. They can win. They can beat anybody. I don't care who. They can be Boston. They can be anybody. Because Kawhi in the playoffs is a dog, without question, without the bark. Don't say shit. Just cook all day. And done it and showed you that he can continue to do it. And this year, he's playing most of the games. Keep that in mind now. Kawhi playing this year now. It ain't that low management shit that Kawhi normally do. He balling right now. Right now, I'm still not happy, though, because my Lakers is under 500 again. 22 wins, 23 losses. 9th in the West, which is a play-in spot. For those who don't know, the top 6 get in, 7, 8, 9, 10 play in the play-in for the right to play either the 1 or the 2 seed. And remember, last year, we got ourselves out of the play-in to the 7 seed and knocked off Memphis. D'Angelo Russell been balling, Austin Reeves, and I will give credit to the others, like Shaquille O'Neal likes to call the role players, the others. Got to give them credit because last night they was putting in a valiant effort. They were defensively and offensively. Cam Reddish and Vando was actually being aggressive on offense to give us some buckets, and they played pretty good D. Our perimeter defense has to get a little bit better. And then when Gabe Vincent come back, and of course when LeBron plays, that'll amp it up a little bit. We got to stop giving up so many threes because we gave up 8 out of 16 in the first half, and that helped them get 77 freaking first half points. In the second half, we held them to 50 and outscored them. But in the first half, we give up 77 with 8 out of 16 threes, 50%. That ain't going to fly. So the defensive scheme's got to tighten up a bit. I like how the role players are playing better in the past couple of weeks, but we got to get up to 6 or better, man. We can't be hovering around 7, 8, 9, 10, man. Get out this play-in shit, solidify a spot. We're only 6 games out of 4. So it's still potential to get some home playoff games. Switching to some NFL news. It just became official not long ago, minutes ago. Jim Harbaugh is officially named the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. Because they've been dealing with Brandon Staley the past couple of years. And if y'all been watching like I've been watching, Slim didn't deserve to come back last year. But Jim Harbaugh wasn't available last year. He had unfinished business, and he did it. National champ. Now, the Chargers are going to find out who they really have. Because they have star power. Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, who keep getting hurt. I need this brother to stay healthy for one full season, just once. Like, he has greatness in him, but he can't stay healthy. Keenan Allen, he also gets banged up a lot. Palmer, Gerald Everett at the tight end spot and on defense. You know you got Bosa and Mack. You got Derwin James. You got Asante Samuel Jr. So the pieces are in place, and everybody been wondering the past few years why couldn't they get over the hump. Was up 27-0 on Jacksonville last year in the playoffs. Squandered that. Jim Harbaugh about to bring some structure down there. And the people who need to be weeded out because they don't have that desire and that hunger, he'll weed them out. And then the people who really going to step up and play, they're going to get their opportunities. The people that he draft is going to fit that mold. And y'all about to see a transformation in Los Angeles. Jim Harbaugh is about to have the Chargers something that we haven't associated with them in years. Tough. Trust me. Because if they don't play tough, if they don't play through the whistle, and if they don't put a hat on the hat, Jim Harbaugh will get their ass out of there. Believe that. Remember what he did when he came to San Francisco? Mixed a few things up, let Connor Kaepernick take that thing over, brought in a Connor's option offense to help Kaepernick excel because he knew they couldn't stop it, and had that defense on 1,000 with Patrick Willis in there. Patrick Willis, he retired too early, too. I miss him. He was a dog. Middle linebacker. He used to play for them, 52. Congratulations, Coach Harbaugh. And I watched you when you was a player, and I watched you as a coach. San Diego, Stanford. Then you came to San Francisco, 3 NFC championship games, 1 Super Bowl appearance. Michigan, 3 straight college football playoff appearances, and then you finally closed the deal. Watch out for the Chargers. They're going to give Kansas City some bump. They're going to give the Raiders some bump. Denver, we don't know what's happening, if they still going to have Russell Wilson or not. We'll find out, but don't sleep on the Chargers because they already got the talent. They already got the talent in the building. They just need that guidance and that structure and that person that can bring it out. Kudos to Jim Harbaugh, man. The Tennessee Titans hired Brian Callahan, former offensive coordinator of Cincinnati Bengals, as their head coach. And it's a weird hire, and I'll explain. For 3 years before Eric Bieniemy got the offensive coordinator job with the Washington Commanders, everyone in the league was baffled by the fact that he had all these interviews with teams and he didn't get hired. And the quote-unquote qualification that wasn't on his resume was he didn't, quote-unquote, call plays. Okay. Brian Callahan didn't call plays for Cincinnati last year. That's Zach Taylor, the head coach. Matt Nagy didn't call plays in Kansas City. That was Andy Reid. Same place Eric Bieniemy was. Matt Nagy got a job with Chicago. Sean McVay, the head coach of the LA Rams. He didn't call plays. Kyle Shanahan did. Mike McDaniel for the Miami Dolphins. He didn't call plays. Kyle Shanahan did. And a host of others, Kevin O'Connell. There's been plenty coaches that have gotten hired in the past 5 years that did not call plays. But the knock on a brother, Eric Bieniemy, and Mike McDaniel, he a brother. But for some reason, he got turned away and didn't get hired and got looked over. Not to mention that a couple of the places that hired coaches instead of him then fired those coaches. People use double standard for certain things and, all these cliche terms, but it's just downright fucked up. Because I coach and I coordinate. And even though Andy has the final say, I'm involved. Eric Bieniemy was involved. And now, just because Andy got the final say and he called plays, it's just like I don't have nothing to do with it. But these other people, you hire them on the spot. You hire them and they didn't have that. They didn't even work with coaches that is as decorated as Andy Reid. They don't even have as much NFL experience as Eric Bieniemy does. He was a player too, if y'all remember, running back for the Chargers. It's a sad thing. Congratulations to Brian Callahan. But if y'all pay attention, look at the coaching trees. Look at all the coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. Look at the last names. And then think about some of the ones that came before. Look at the coaching tree that these guys coming from. And what you'll see is they trying to keep it in the family. Because too much exposure or too much others coming in and showing their expertise is going to open the door for some of these people, some of these homegrown boys that they want to keep the lineage going on. It'll interfere with that. Because now it'll be more reason to allow more of us to come in and if more of us come in, what happens? There's a subtraction, a minus sign to those that are already there. So pay attention to what's going on. And not to take nothing away from some of them, because some of them are very intelligent. Some of them know the game. But a lot of them is with this analytic bullshit. And people, now all 32 teams have changed the offensive coordinator since 2022, counting the Bengals because they got to change theirs now that he got hired by Tennessee. That's crazy. Hell of a turnover, man. It's like no continuity. Nobody getting to stay. And then when the team get hot, everybody want to hire their coordinator. And all of them don't work out. A la Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels. What was the one that was with the Giants that went back to New England? Him and Matt Patricia was calling the plays last year for Mac Jones. That's how irrelevant it is. Irrelevant he is. Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, Jim Zorn. You can think of all these dudes, coordinators that just got picked up because they had a good year with a team one year, and then what happened? Flop. Or they got to go back to their old balls. And this analytic BS, man, is crazy, man. How are you going to... The game of football is played on the field. We know that we accumulate stats over our careers. Professional players accumulate stats over their careers. But taking numbers and putting percentages on the knowledge of the game and what you see as far as the flow of a game is ridiculous. They even fucking got a tab at the bottom of the TV now. So when the team got fourth down, it's like 4th and 4, 4th and 3. It's on the bottom. It's like 66% go for it. Like, what the fuck is going on? You in the playoffs or in any game, if you drive down the field, you're supposed to be able to accept when you didn't do enough. You put your game plan together, you call plays, you got down the field, then you got that third down play that you got to get, and you called the wrong third down play. You didn't get it. Take the fucking points. Take the points. Show the defense you got faith in them. Show the offense results from the drive. All this analytical bullshit got y'all doing fake punts on your own 30, going forward on 4th and 4 on your own 35. Sean McDermott did a fake punt. Sean McDermott for Buffalo did a fake punt on his own 29 with 13 minutes left in the game. And y'all mean to tell me that that's football? That makes sense to you? Then this bullshit that if you're down 2 touchdowns, y'all was watching Detroit and Tampa Bay, right? And they was explaining this BS. You down 14. You score a touchdown. You get up in that Baja. Now you're down 8. The objective isn't to tie. The objective is to win. So they try to make all this sense saying, yeah, well, if you go forward for 2 and you get it, then when you score again, then you can just kick the extra point and you can win the game in regulation. Duh, what if you don't score again? Number 2, if you miss it, then you can go for 2 the next time, and you're going to get 1 out of 2 2-point conversions. How you know that? There's some teams that didn't get 2-point conversions a whole season. There's some teams that were less than 20% on 2-point conversions for a whole season. So how in the hell, all of a sudden, because y'all want to use this analytical bullshit and y'all want to pay all these people that don't know shit about football, just know how to crunch numbers. I can crunch numbers too, but I know the game. And analytics is some garbage. Because anytime you in the playoffs and you up 3-0 on the road against the best team in the conference, like Green Bay was, you're down there again. The defense is good. They stop you. You kick another field goal. Because see, guess what? It always comes back to bite you in the ass. Pop! Right on the ass, like a pit bull. Because when you come down at the end of the game, now you're trying to go and score to win, but you got pressure that's added because you're down. If you take the points early in the game when you get those opportunities instead of going for the 4th down like some freaking idiots, when they score that touchdown at the end of the game, you're tied. So now that makes it a whole lot simpler for your playbook and your strategy to go get the winning points. See, y'all with this analytical bullshit is putting yourself behind in games. The objective is momentum. Keep momentum. Build momentum. Change momentum. That's what the game is about. When you go forward on 4th down and you miss, guess what you're doing, smart guys? You're giving the momentum to the other team. Because there's a difference that you don't think about with all these brains and all this money you're getting paid. The difference between a field goal and missing on a fourth down is this. You make the field goal. You got teammates and players and shit on the sideline clapping, patting each other on the helmet, shit like that. When you miss it on fourth down, they walking back to the sideline with their head down. Human element. So now it's taken away from some of the energy that they're building up and confidence that they're building up that they can keep doing it, keep getting down there. It's all right, we ain't get the touchdown now, but we got that 3, we get the touchdown next. And eventually it's going to manifest because you're producing, you're gaining yards, you're driving, you're keeping the defense on the field. Y'all can miss me with this analytical shit. Y'all messing up the game. And some of these damn rules. Little note real quick. Deebo Samuel looking iffy for this game Sunday. And I was already liking the Lions with the points. But that'll be a big loss. So what y'all think? Can they beat Detroit without Deebo? Or do you think that without Deebo, Detroit has an even better? I mean, we know they got a better chance. But that's tough because you want to see, like last year, Brock Purdy got hurt and Johnson came in, he got hurt. They didn't have a quarterback. Now, basically, Christian McCaffrey is the best player on the team. But as far as outside of Christian McCaffrey, the next best player, because they put him, he played 4 different positions. Not having him, it takes away from the dynamics of their play calling and the game plan, So that'll hurt. That's going to hurt. So hopefully he improves and he can play. But right now it's looking a little dicey. And Brock Purdy catching a lot of unnecessary flack too, man. Like, we got to get a dude a break. Dude, Mr. Irrelevant, man. The 256th pick in the NFL draft, man. The last dude drafted, man. Came in last year, won all 5 regular season games, got him to the NFC Championship. Come in this year, got him the number 1 seed, got him to the NFC Championship. Led the NFL in basically every quarterback category it is. He 20-5 as a starter, averaging 29 points a game. He didn't even play 25 games. That's not even 2 full seasons. 34, for those who don't know, would be 2 full seasons. He's only played 25 games. Top of the NFL in every category. Got his team to the NFC Championship for the 2nd straight year. What happened to the underdog story? I thought everybody loved the underdog story. Nobody liked the fact that, this brother came out of nowhere, last pick in the draft. You want to say that he got a lot of talent around him? Tell me one team or one quarterback that won a Super Bowl with no talent around him. Can you think of one? You can go back to the 50s Browns with Jim Brown in them, the 60s Packers, the 70s Steelers and Cowboys, Vikings. Well, they didn't win one though, but they got to a couple. Who won a Super Bowl that didn't have a good team? Also, it was cool when it was a new story last year and all that, but then when he come and now he got them back. With y'all bored with the underdog stories now? Stop hating on Brock, man. He balling, man. He gonna be here to stay with San Francisco, and they're gonna be in it every year because it ain't just the people around him. Because just in case you didn't notice, Deebo got hurt early. And even though it was an up and down game because Green Bay had good schemes and the defense was playing a lot better, when he needed it, he went and got it without Deebo on the field. So don't just count them out from losing the game. That might be a little closer because they might have to do some things differently. However, don't just say they're going to lose if he don't play because you can't do that. They still got a great coach, still got other great players. And Brock Purdy is not a bum. So stop it. And then, the Dak hate and all that. Now, listen, y'all know that I have to see it to believe it as far as him winning the big game. He got to show me. Y'all know that's where I stand with it. I've already let that be known. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But if you just ask yourself a question, if you look at the landscape and you just ask yourself a question, who are they going to replace him with? Just think about it. Think about the quarterbacks. Who are they going to replace him with? Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Nick Foles, Cam Newton. Who they gonna replace him with? Since he was drafted 2016, for those who don't know, 5 teams have won the Super Bowl. Because y'all know only one team win every year, right? Remember I was talking about the trolls? Only one team wins every year. So if your ass made the Super Bowl, but you lost, guess what? You're still shit out of luck because you ain't the winner. And that's the reason that you play. Only 3 quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl since Dak Prescott been in the league. Did y'all know that? Probably didn't. Did you know that? This many. 32 quarterbacks in the league, right? 32 teams. Some quarterbacks get hurt, so more than 32 teams, 32 quarterbacks play, I mean. Only 3 have won a Super Bowl since he's been in the league. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Matthew Stafford. So all of these quarterbacks who you're glorifying and bigging up, and he might play for your team and put up some numbers and he this and he that, all the numbers don't mean anything because they ain't won nothing either. So even though I'm critical of him because that's my team, and I don't have false hope because he has to show me that he can play big in the big game for me to believe, there is also the reality of the situation. They ain't remember 3 quarterbacks that won since he's been there. So all these other people that everybody calls so freaking great, Aaron Rodgers, none of them won. Nobody. Even though I believe Lamar will win this year and get his. He deserves it. I want him to win. But none of them have won. Joe Burrow made it. Didn't win. He also made second team All-Pro. And if y'all understand the rules of the NFL All-Pro team, you only get 2 quarterbacks. He was one. Lamar Jackson was the other. I'm just saying. He was voted as the second best quarterback in the NFL. So even though he didn't do what he was supposed to do in the big game, and he seems to shell up and freeze up in the moment, it ain't too many that's better. And since he's been in the league, only 3 quarterbacks won. And that's an 8-year span. And only 3 different quarterbacks won. I'm just saying. Move right along to something else special before I get up out of here. Y'all some wrestling fans out there? I grew out of wrestling because it changed. You know, when it went from like the hardcore wrestling to the, you know, the entertainment, I kind of fell back off of it, kind of grew out of it. But the WWE used to be called WWF back in the day when I was growing up. Just ain't the 10-year, $5 billion deal with Netflix, the live stream WWE Raw. Good God, 10 years, $5 billion. Man, if I had known this stuff, man, when me and my brother used to wrestle with my Uncle Tommy rest his soul, I'd have tried to be a damn professional wrestler. If I had known this kind of money was coming down the pipe, 10 years, $5 billion. I can imagine with the late, great Andre the Giant and Bobo Brazil and Jimmy Superfly Snook and Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff and Ted DiBiase and the Ultimate Warrior and Sting and the Samoan Brothers and the Road Warriors and the 4 Horsemen, even though Ric Flair's still around. Well, I don't know where the other brothers are, but I know Ric Flair's still like seen, you know, even on podcasts on ESPN and stuff. And to look at where it comes, I remember the UWF, WWF, NWA. Was it UWO, another one? And like now, it's crazy. Man, kudos to Vince McMahon and them, man. They done turned this thing into a global brand. And I'm just saying, I'm shouting them out, man. I'm speaking about it, man, because it's a major thing. They got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson on the board for TKO Entertainment. And, man, that's huge, man, because I remember wrestling was on a couple of channels. Now Netflix and man, NBA, NFL. Shoot, I guess Netflix about to be a player too. It's already Prime and Peacock. Damn, $5 billion? Whew. Give me 5,000 right now. I'd be good. Woo! Man, kudos to WWE, Roman Reigns and all them, The Rock. They doing their thing, man. Before I get up out of here, I got one jewel tonight because I know my granddad probably looking for a play, and maybe one of y'all are too. Hopefully, y'all get some money with me. Tonight at 10 o'clock, we got the Atlanta Hawks at Golden State. Over under 234. Take it over. It's going to be a fun and gun game. They both probably get into the 120s. That's the jewel for the night. You know the weekend games, I'm going to give it to you. But I got a request to give out something throughout the week before the playoffs come so that y'all can get y'all a little extra cash. You know y'all spent some money on Christmas, probably have potted a little bit for New Year's. You want to get some of that cash back, not just wait on the IRS. Atlanta, Golden State over. Pardon me. Atlanta and Golden State over the total at 10-10 tonight. And speaking of the IRS, weirdly, they get the shout out tonight. Thanks in advance. And shout out to IRS because this is the time of year when you mofos pay us, not vice versa. Special shout out for everybody that's getting paid by the IRS because this is the time of year where they give us some money because all year we giving them our damn money. So kudos to everybody that done worked and then paid, and that's time for you to get some back. Even though we ain't gonna get it all back. We know that. But we're gonna shout out Uncle Sam, but it's time for you to pay us right now. Thank y'all for joining me again. I will be back with you on Friday and get you ready for the weekend. We got some NBA rivalry games coming up Saturday. We got the NFC, AFC Championship coming up Sunday, and I got you covered. Tell your people to tell their people to holler at your boy. Type in the Diamond Cooper Show. Hit that like, boop. That subscribe, boop. And I'm going to keep the content coming. Thank you for rocking with me. Peace and love.